All right, guys, so I'm going to do a little weekly update. I got a lot of stuff to get through. It's Friday evening. We got dinner in a little bit, but everywhere I look around here, it reminds me of something I want to talk to you guys about. So, like I said, I got a lot of stuff to get through. It's going to be completely random. I'll try to itemize it at the beginning of the video before I edit it, but I'm a one-man show with editing and all that jazz. So, uh, I'm going to run through a bunch of random stuff and try to cover comments, questions we've had, other things I look around here and see that reminds me of something else. I'm going to cover a lot of ground really quick. But as always, thanks for watching. If you got questions, comments, let me hear it, and constructive criticism, cool. The negative comments, it gets tiring. I try to ignore them. 90% of you guys are like completely positive, but the negative comments, they do wear on you. Not gonna lie, but hey, you can choose not to reply. Just believe in what you're doing, doesn't really matter, etc. So let's get started on this. Okay, we're gonna start out with The Office. Last week I posted a video of these clamps and basically said these clamps are one method which to hold stacked containers. So there's one method, there's the other method, that's a twist lock. And I had a bunch of comments like, hey, how much is that office? Are you scared to tell us? Too expensive? Show us the inside, blah, 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 blah. I've shown the inside of this office before, so I'm going to show it to you guys. This container is simply stacked up there because I had it sitting here. It's a 20-foot high cube. These are both 20-foot high cubes as well. I just stacked it up there for fun. It's for sale. That's all there is to it. This whole unit's not, quote, not for sale. Of course, we'd sell it. We'd just build you one, but I'm not shooting a video on this container to sell it. I'm not trying to like promo this container. This is our office. But of course we'll build you anything like this. But I was, people are like, give us a quote on that. I'm like, well, the top's empty. It's just an empty container. That container doesn't go with this. You haven't seen the inside. Well, I don't know what I'm quoting you. So if you got quotes, send them to Carl, C-A-R-L, at simpleshippingcontainers.com. We'd be happy to help you, or message me on here. So this is just what I call salvage yard staircase. We just welded that on. This was like from Boeing in Seattle. The only thing about these, they're not very steep, and then they stick off the container, but for our situation, works pretty well. Here's the deck. I don't think a lot of you have really seen this deck lately. So what we're going to do up here is we're going to do a landing right here off the staircase, and we're going to stack a 20-foot high cube up here, and we're going to have a door going to that high cube, and then we're probably going to cut a partition in the deck or something like that. So we'll see. But for now, that container is just sitting up here for show. And then here's a better look at these clamps. So this is a removable deck. So you flip that, and it unlocks, you're good to go. And take that off the top, and then it is not an overheight load. So if you bought a 20-foot container with a deck, you just tote the 20-foot container and the deck separately, and then you're not running an oversized load. You're about $2 a loaded mile. And then there's the clamps, and those are both options outside of welding. And then there's your mini split. All right. Like I said, this is going to be completely random. So let me show you the inside of this. So I'm giving this desk to my daughter, switching everything around. Carl's got a really nice GPU graphics computer. There's the mini split, heats and cools this entire space, absolutely no problem. These are two 20-foot high cubes. That window has a shutter on it. We trimmed out the joint there. There you can see the joint there. Yes, we could have ground the corrugation down, and we may if we ever sell this, but it's our office, so we're just not really worried about it. And then this is how it bolts together. A couple bolts up there, and then we've got a few bolts across the top that are all hidden by trim now. And that's pretty much it. But this gives us a lot of usable space. This is the same amount of space as a 40-foot high cube would be, but this is more square space, and we didn't want to eat up that width. So we wanted a more square space. So if we wanted to move this, we could pick it up with 2 forklifts, or if I sold it, we would unbolt it. There's a seal in between. You can probably see it. There's like a 3M D-shaped gasket in between there, and it's squeezed. And then we seal the outside. And so that's kind of how we do that. And then this is the power from this container to that container. And this is all running off an extension cord. We have air filter, GPU gaming computer, extra monitor, lights, Derek's computer, my computer, mini split, refrigerator, and we've never tripped the breaker. So that's the office. I wanted to show it to you guys because a lot of people are asking about it. What would two 20-foot high cube offices sell for, joined together, delivered, set up? Somewhere around 40,000, something like that. All right. So here's an office. Oh yeah, here comes randomness. You can stack stuff on top of shipping containers. Just don't put a 4,000-pound load that's on a 4x4 pallet. The roof is not super strong, but like that staircase is probably 1,000 pounds. That weight's dispersed, so you can stack that right on top. It's no problem. All right, so this is a 20-foot office. We've got this sold, extension cord, mini split, spray foam the floor, about 2.5-inch average on the spray foam. Beyond 2 inches, you're not really gaining much. You're just eating a lot of spray foam up, and you've got to pass that on to the customer. So 2.5 inches is pretty money. Even 2 inches is good. This one's got beadboard and Romex, so we did not run conduit. Conduit is my kind of favorite way to do these, but this one's got Romex. And then the beadboard. Beadboard is about the same cost as painted OSB with labor and everything. I think the beadboard looks really good. I do really like the beadboard on the ceiling. So yeah, this just like our office, we run multiple circuits in case you ever want to bump the power up. But this all runs off an extension cord. You could have multiple computers in here, a big, 72-inch TV, a full-size fridge. The mini splits are so efficient that off just one 15-amp extension cord, you've got plenty of amperage left over to run everything else. So that's what the beadboard looks like. Let me know if you guys, like that. For me, our three options right now are beadboard, painted OSB, which is extremely durable, and then shiplap. Shiplap is just considerably more money and labor. Here's your walk door. We paint the interior of that walk door RAL 7035, which is a light gray, which is the interior color of the containers. So if the interior is not finished out, it matches the interior perfectly. I mean, look how good this looks. And if the interior is finished out, well, the light gray goes with virtually everything. Here are the black Performax windows. I've done a couple windows on, or a couple videos on these. Very nice windows. They have a stainless or aluminum track here, so they slide very well. If you're buying a slider, try to get one without a vinyl track. I really like these windows. Menards has them, so just a little heads up on the Performax windows. And then we always do a 48x36 window minimum. If you want bigger, no problem. And then we've got the shutters closed on those. So let me get this closed up and then we'll move on to the next thing. So these are side opening shutters. We also do shutters that flip up with shocks. There's the exterior of the walk door. And there's the mini split. And there's your 120 plug-in. And like I said, if you ever want to upgrade this to 240 and you're just going to run a bunch of stuff in here, and then if it's a 40-foot, 240 might make sense. All the wiring is there, so you just upgrade that to a 240 outlet, and all the wiring is there, and you're pretty much good to go. All right, so here's a 40-foot. We just put an 8-foot garage door in the side. Garage doors are one of our most common mods. And then here's a little 20-foot portable garage we just got done with. So I'll show you how the garage door finishes out here real quick, and then we'll run inside. So we got 2x3 steel for the frame. We put this threshold on the bottom, and then you've got a seal on the bottom of the garage door, and then we got the seals on the side, and then this is 2x3. And then we get that paint matched perfectly so you can't tell we are here. And with a high cube, you can go a little bit taller, especially with a coiling door. This is a sectional door. I like the sectional doors a lot better. But that's a really common mod for us. This container with that garage door is quite a bit cheaper than an open side container with doors on the side. So that gives them side access and they save money. All right, I want to hit this 53. So I'm going to run over here. So this is RAL 9003. This is a brand new 53-foot container. Yes, they are expensive and they are expensive to ship. Check this out. Look at the floor in this thing. This has 12-inch, inch and an eighth thick oak tongue and groove flooring, and guess how long these planks are? These puppies are like 45 feet long, and we are pulling the floor out, but we are going to repurpose this floor. This stuff is so nice. Like I said, it's about an inch and an eighth thick, and it has a nice finish on it, and this is actually a one trip or new 53-foot container, so all this flooring is in perfect shape. We have to pull it out for the customer, so it's coming out. There's really no choice on that. But I can't imagine how much that stuff costs, but super cool. All right, here's a couple 20 offices we just sprayed. I did a video yesterday, a short on the spray foam underneath. So here's the inside. We got about 2.5 inches average. Like I said, that is optimal to where we're not charging the customer additional money for extra spray foam. If you left the heat and air on in this container 24/7, your power bill every month is probably going to be $50. So you can double the foam up, fill the studs up. You're going to spend another $1,500 in spray foam, but for what? To save $2 a month. It'll never pay back. So 2.5 inches is good coverage, and you've got to do the floor, and that's closed cell spray foam. Here's the solar array. We got 2 more rows to do. And this is going to be grid tied, so if we're not inputting as much solar as power that we are withdrawing, then we will the inverter will seamlessly switch back and forth from the grid, and then we'll slowly add batteries. The intent is not to be totally off grid, but definitely to not have a power bill anymore. All right, get this fan turned off. We got another customer that wants a sapphire blue container. This is the first coat, and that's an RAL 5012, I think. Another blue container, which is odd. We've been painting a lot of containers blue lately. So this is sapphire blue. This is framed. So we've got to do the mini split, and then we're ready for spray foam. So we're going to spray all 3 of these 20-footers at the same time. We did those other 2 on Friday. So here we go, mini split's getting ready to go in, and that always goes on the end right here on the corner. If you put the mini split on the side, it's going to cause a wide load because you're over 8 feet 6 inches wide. So if we have a customer that wants it on the side, and I'm going to get into that in 1 second, we'll ship that unit loose. All you do is mount the mini split on the brackets, and then connect the lines, open the valves, you're good to go. So really not much work in that. Here's the inverter for the solar array. That's an 18,000 watt inverter. It's all Bluetooth, love Grow Watt. And then I like EG4 batteries, and I like EG4 inverters as well, but I went with the Grow Watt because I'm familiar with Grow Watt. And so here's one of the batteries there that we're going to be tying into the solar system. All right, this customer wants 2 20-foot offices, pretty much like we always make them. The only thing different is instead of one window over here, and then door and window, this customer wants window, door, window, which is the same price for us. And then he wants a mini split on the back side. And then we're also going to build a 40-foot office for him. So he's going to make a U-shaped office setup out of these, so he cannot have the mini split on the end. So the mini split's going to go on this back wall, and we'll ship those mini splits loose. And then this container is getting the exact same configuration. And this is a huge debate: plasma cutters, cutting wheels, jigsaw, skill saw, circular saw with metal blade. I'm going to try to get some good video cutting these out with a cutting wheel this week to show you how fast it goes. But we've got our lines drawn, so we're going to hit this with the cutting wheel. We'll have this out in like 5 minutes. You just have to hit that line on the money. We're good to go with about a 1/16 inch gap around the window. If you have to just buzz a little off here and there, so be it. If you're trying to do this with the plasma, we'd have to go get some jig down from somewhere, hang it on here, by the time you even go find that jig that you built, the cutting wheel's done with that window. So that's like an endless debate we have going on online. And like I told everybody, $1,000, fly to Wichita. I'll pay for your airline ticket. You can do one window with your plasma cutter. We'll cut the other window. And if you beat us, I'll give you $1,000 cash. No problem. All right. Last thing for the update. I shot a video of one of my guys welding a door frame, walk door frame, which would be this frame here. So if you go to Home Depot and buy a knockdown or metal door frame, those are not welded because you attach those to the structure. Those don't need to do anything, and I'll show you what that looks like. This is a knocked down door frame. These are not welded. They don't need to be welded because this entire structure is welded to this structure. So this door frame doesn't need to be welded like a Ferris wheel. That does not matter at all. You could just Bondo the corners. And so I showed a video of one of my guys welding the corners of the door frame, and he stopped and started a couple times, and they said, well, that's not the correct welding, blah, 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 blah. You don't even have to weld it. You could just tack it. You don't have to do anything to it. You could just Bondo it because that frame gets welded to the container. It's not going to move. So he stopped and started on these two corners of a door frame, and I wanted to show you guys the penetration. And then this gets ground down flush. This is 1,000 times stronger than any door frame you'll buy anywhere. So the starting and stopping does not matter one iota at all. So I wanted to address that. Everything we're not welding is not like a Ferris wheel structural. It's not a bridge. So if we stop and start, we're just making it pretty. We're not going to change settings on the welder all day. So that's all I've got for this week. Like I said, questions and comments, let me know. And as always, thanks for watching. SimpleShippingContainers.com, Wichita, Kansas.